I now call upon Dr. Baun to address Convocation.
Right now I can just say, wow. It's emotional. Robert Baun is pretty taken back by all this. It is a very interesting day, but Chancellor, President Ron, honored guests and faculty, family and friends. You don't mind if I take a deep breath here? I'm getting ready on the blue line. I always had a deep breathing exercise. and some of these people and you graduates are in the middle of that blue line. I'm looking for that friendly spot out there that I can relate to. And it seems to be covered in here. And I always like one corner or the other, and I can't seem to find that corner out here. So I'm having a little slow start here, but you know, one of my favorite stories over the years is I was asked to give a speech to the General Motors people in Wayne State University, and I just wasn't sure what I was going to do about that, so I came up with the word Yale, and I started out and I talked about use for 20 minutes, and then I took the letter A and I talked about attitude for 20 minutes, and then I took the letter L and talked about loyalty for 20 minutes, and then I took the letter E and talked about enthusiasm for 20 minutes. Well, I figured that wasn't going to work today here because Ron gave me the same time schedule that Jim O'Donnell has. And Jimmy, you went well over your schedule. I don't know how I can top that one. That son of a bee, I asked him how his speech was coming. He says, I ripped it up 15 times, and I was already on my 20th. But anyways, I'm going back and I'm thinking, what little things can I tell these young people to give you a lift and a hand in this world? And there's very few things. It's like trying to direct my 12 grandchildren. I call them ankle biters. And trying to direct my sons and daughters who all have their own businesses, and trying to tell them what to do, and none of it's really worked, and certainly if I tell my wife what to do, that definitely doesn't work. So, but anyways, what are the signals can I give you? You already got your tool that you're coming out of university with now. That's one. It's like a mechanic, you know, you've got a set of tools that you come out and you go to be an apprentice mechanic. And same with a woodworking guy, he's got a saw, you've chosen some different tools. So now you've got this piece of paper, what are you going to do with it? So you've got to start sending some signals out of what you can do. So when you send everybody that's sitting in this room are sending me signals right now. Some of you are saying to me, well, what's that character standing up there trying to do? What's he trying to do to us? And you're going to say, well, he's a horse's ass. You know, some are, but I'm hoping not. I hope I catch one of you. I'm going to get one disciple out of this room, whether you like it or not. And somebody's going to believe in what I'm just going to finish off here in about 3 seconds, Dr. Ron. But I believe that all you are sending signals to one another, and you've got to figure out how you're going to work those signals. If you don't have the right attitude out there, when you go out in the field, you're going to have an awful time. If you don't have enthusiasm about what you're doing, you're going to have a tougher time. If you don't have enthusiasm, you're going to have a tough time. If you don't have passion, and I'm talking real, honest passion, how do you make love? How do I make love to my wife? I better be passionate or I don't make love, right? Well, it's going to be the same way with you. If you don't have some passion and love about what you're doing, you're not going to do any of it. So make sure you start putting in that in your little book. Jim already said you got to keep a record. Well, you got your Blackberries and computers. So my son-in-law down there, he's a daytimer freak. Keith Carroll, he is the magician with the daytimer. So there you go. But keep a diary, able to look at what you're going to do. Set your goals. Jim's mentioned setting goals. That little turkey's been setting goals for so long and reaching them. That's the biggest thing, that this turkey reaches them. I'm running about 55, 50 maybe. You know, I might have 52. I don't know. But anyways, we're somewhere in that ballpark. But one thing, I have a little bit more fun than Jim, so that's where we go. But the positive thinking is, again, it's the Bible. Keep all the positive stuff in that head. Dr. Penfield, who was a dear friend down in Montreal, I met him back in around 64 when we won the Cup that year, and he was operating on a little guy from Memphis, Tennessee. And he was telling me when he was scraping the tumor off his brain that this little guy would relate all these different stories. So everything that you get pumped into your head is in that computer. This computer up here is better than the one you've got in your lap, or that little BlackBerry thing that you hold out here and you punch these little things in, which my big fingers can't do it. But anyways, that's where I put that. The last thing that you have to learn to give. And you might say, why do I have to learn to give? Well, if you don't know about giving and caring, then you're going to have some serious problems, because that's where all life is. And your mom carried you around for 9 months when you were a little person, and there was no charge for that. She brought you up to this stage, and there was no charge for a lot of that. So just remember of how you got here and where you're going. So again, to you graduates, I wish you all the best of luck. It's exciting. The world is exciting. Every day is new. And Jim O'Donnell said a lot that is going to give you some leg ups on the investment world. Catch him later on, he'll give you a real stock tip. Not that you want one. But anyways, I'd just like to thank you all for this great honor, and it was a wonderful time of my life, and thanks to a number of friends that have helped me through my life. It's just been great. And Sally, I love you dearly. She said not to look at her. You got her, crony. Thank you, everybody.